A couple of years ago, I went to a rehab in Southern California for alcohol and Xanax addiction. My family and friends were beginning to worry about me a lot, so if anything, I did it more for them than for me. Being there for almost 4 months, we all got pretty close. However, disaster struck and my roommate decided to hit the needle again. Needless to say, that was the last time he ever would, as he overdosed in his apartment, collapsed in his closet, with the needle still in his arm. This is where some friends and I found him, motionless. We called 911 immediately, but it was unfortunately too late. A few weeks pass and we are still living in the same apartment that he passed away in. Being newly sober and not really knowing what sober people do with their lives all day, we do a bunch of random shit to keep our minds off of our old habits. This night, we decided to use a Ouija board. We all sat in the living room and began. We said the prayer, put our hands on the planchette, and started asking routine questions, but got nothing. About to quit, someone had the brilliant idea of going into our friend's room that passed away. Sitting in that room, we pulled everything out again, redid the procedure, and asked for, let's call him Brad. We asked, "Brad, are you still with us?" Amazingly, the planchette went to yes. Both a little freaked out and a little excited, we continued. We asked simple things like if he was okay. All was fine until we asked Brad why he did it. The planchette went to B-A-D-G-N-E. We thought about this for a while and asked, "Brad gone?" Planchette rapidly went to yes. "Who is this?" we asked. Nothing. Angry, I screamed, "Who the fuck is this?" The planchette began moving like I've never seen it move before. Z-O, 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 over and over again. I had no clue what that was, but I turned to my friend, and his face was white. When the planchette finally came to a rest, I asked my friend what was wrong. He stammered, "We need to quit. We need to stop this now." Being a huge tough guy, it was strange to me that he was so scared. "Stop being a pussy," I said jokingly. "That's Zozo, a Ouija board demon. He pretends to be a friend or family member and finally reveals himself." I took this in and kind of chuckled to myself. Oh, really? That friend took off and went back to his apartment while 2 of us stayed, taunting the demon and cussing him out. We finally asked what he wanted, and the planchette shot straight at me. Terrified, I asked, "What do you want with me?" It took off in the directions of H, E, L, L, respectively. I stated, "You want me in hell?" It shot to yes. "Are you going to kill me?" The planchette stated yes. Getting a little freaked out now, I asked, "How are you going to kill me?" F-I-R, and the planchette shot towards one of our candles, knocking it onto the floor, starting a small fire on the carpet. We immediately put it out, and as we were doing so, looked at the last letter the planchette landed on. E. F-I-R-E. Looking at this, we said goodbye on the Ouija board and burned that board the same night. I refused to sleep in the apartment after that, and broke my sobriety soon after, going back to my home. So, Zozo, I hope I don't run into you again. I want to start out by saying I'm a very paranoid person, and the fact that I am home alone all day, I do online classes, definitely doesn't help. So I started online school this year, and I'm not going to lie, it's pretty boring, but I don't mind. As a small child, I have always been afraid of my house. I believe it was built in the 1950s, so a little older and really broken down. Our whole basement is the size of our house, and that's where this all starts. I've always had a fear of our basement, and it wasn't just that instinct fear everyone has either. I just knew it was much more than that. Our basement has no door, just a long, echoing stairway that you walk down. My mom's room and the laundry room are located down there, so it's not like I'm a complete baby about it. Usually when I walk up the stairs, I see shadows darting across, and other times, when laying in my mom's bed, I'll hear footsteps coming from nearby rooms. This might be appealing to a horror fanatic, but not so much for a paranoid person like me. Recently, the light outside my room has begun to burn out quickly, even though we have checked the fuse and changed the bulbs. None of this crazy shiz started to happen until I played with a Ouija board with my friend the day after my birthday. I did everything properly and said all the right things. I even did extensive research on the damn thing prior to playing with it to make sure everything went smoothly. I can't stress enough when I say I wanted nothing bad to happen. August 2016 is when it all went even further downhill. Our garage door that leads to our yard is in our kitchen, and I tend to hear it open a lot. It really messes with me. But lately, after hearing it open so many times, I've been locking it during the day and before I go to bed. Also, as a side note, nobody in my family has a key to it, including me. This door is extremely loud and creaky, so it's obvious when it opens. We have 2 Great Danes, and we usually sit in the living room while I work. You really aren't able to see the kitchen or anything else from that angle. Since I was so paranoid, I started keeping a taser, 5,000 volts, with me at all times. I love it, and it makes me feel a little better. So I'm working on my classes. Mind you, I've been keeping the back door locked. I heard the back door pop open, and then hear the sound of footsteps through the house. I was frozen in fear, not knowing what to do. I locked my door and just sat there. When the footsteps stop, I always hear the door close, and my yard door open and close as if somebody was leaving. One specific time, it was around noon or so, and I remember thinking my dad was home because of the sounds I was hearing. I yelled, "Hi, Dad," as my dogs went nuts barking. Then I heard running, and the door slam as if somebody had realized I was here and ran out. A few weeks ago, my dad had decided to come home for lunch around 1 p.m. He came in shouting at me that he had just caught a man running out of the backyard when he pulled up. I remember when he said that, I froze dead and completely taken aback by this. There had been somebody in my house all those times. I guess it wasn't a ghost, although there are still unexplained events. So man in my house, don't come back.